morning. Some movies have lines that are iconic. Now, if I were to say to you, "May the force be with you," and with my spirit, thank you. May the force be with you. What movie is that from? Star Wars. Did anyone get that wrong? Be honest. Nobody. All right. Very good. How about Show Me the Money? Jerry Maguire. Correct. Yeah. Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Wizard of Oz. Okay, one more. If I were to say, "Frankly, my dear, I don't..." Okay. Gone with the Wind. See, I didn't want to say that word in church. So now you all have to go to confession. Now, I could keep going, but I think you get the point. Now, I'm going to show my age for just a second, because there's one particular movie I just want to focus on just for a second. When I was a young boy, there was a movie that came out that I guess captured my fascination. And the reason it captured my fascination was because it was about cars, and specifically sports cars, like Ferrari and Lamborghinis and Porsche and so on. The movie was called The Gumball Rally. And it featured a race from New York to California. And at the very beginning of the movie, there was an Italian racer, a car driver, and he turns to his partner, and I'll never forget these words. Not that I practice them, mind you, when it comes to racing. He says, "The first rule in Italian racing is, what's behind me is not important." And off they go. Life can be much like a car rally, because it's full of potholes and road construction and mechanical difficulties. The biggest similarity that I think between life and a car rally is that it's not so much about what's behind us that is important. It is what is in front of us that is important. Our reading this morning from the letter of the Hebrews, the writer is making this very point. As Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, and Jacob, in their own way, look forward in faith to what God has promised them. Their lives were uncertain and hard. The writer says that faith is the assurance of things hoped for. Faith is not required for things that are behind us. Faith is required for the things that are in front of us. The conviction of things not seen. We know what is behind us. We have seen that already. It's the things that we have not seen that lay out in front of us. Abraham and Sarah could not see their destination. God only said, "Go to a country which I will show you, to the land which I will show you." They had no clue where they were going, how long it was going to take to get there, and they had no clue on how to get there. But they set off simply with faith in God and in His promise that He made to them. Each situation in our reading this morning begins with the words "by faith." By faith. Hebrews 11. By faith our ancestors received approval. By faith Abraham obeyed. By faith he stayed for a time in the land that he had been promised, as did Isaac and Jacob, who were heirs with him of the same promise. By faith Sarah, although barren and of old age, was given the power to conceive. God made promises to each and every one of them. They trusted in the Lord's goodness and in his promise for them. Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, and Jacob all looked forward. What was behind them? Their old lives, their old habits, their old homeland was not important. What was in front of them, what God promised them, was important. The writer says if they had been thinking of the land that they had left behind, they would have had an opportunity to return. How often is it that we begin to think about our past habits, that we are tempted to return to them? If they stopped and thought about what they left behind, they would have had an opportunity to turn around and go back right to where they had started from. But that was not God's plan. They might have second-guessed their future. They might have doubted what God had promised. But they did not turn around. They pushed forward in faith, trusting in the Lord. Now I have a question for you. Is there anything in your past that you regret? Something that you might have done that you're not particularly proud of? Or maybe perhaps there's something that you didn't do. Now, speaking honestly, I know that there's a few things that I regret. Some minor ones, but also some major ones too. And if I had the opportunity to go back, I would change them. It's pretty normal to have regrets. But we cannot let our past define us. We cannot let it define our present, and we cannot let it define our future. It's one of those things that we cannot change, and we accept that. We should not live in regret, because regret chains us to our past. We are weighed down by past errors, sins, and mistakes. I'm going to give you another car analogy. Mea culpa. What's a car windshield for? To look forward, to look ahead of us, to know what is in front of us, to protect us, obviously. What's that thing up on the right-hand corner there for? What's a rear view mirror for? To see what's behind us, to see what is in our past. Is there a reason, do you think, why the windshield is so much bigger than the rearview mirror? We cannot change the past. We look forward through the windshield. And don't get me wrong, we shouldn't ignore our past. There are many good memories back there, things we like to relive, but it should not define us. Nicky Gumbel, the creator of the Alpha program, says this, that faith looks forward and up, and regret looks backwards and down. I'll tell you, one of the things that I regret was when I was about 12, I was playing baseball with my friend Steven on the front lawn. And I, as the batter, was facing the house. Do you know where I'm going here? Okay, we had a picture window. It was huge. It was, 8 by 8 or so. And as Steven threw the ball, I hit it. And it went right through that picture window. Now, when my father came out and stood on the front step, my eyes went boom. Because I regretted what I just did. That's one of the things that I would change if I had the opportunity. So maybe there's something in your own rearview mirror that you regret. Particularly maybe a sin that you've been carrying that you need to be rid of. Can I suggest the sacrament of reconciliation as a helpful way to rid ourselves of what clings most to us? Or perhaps we hang on to something that God has already given us forgiveness and grace for. We've already taken it to reconciliation. But we still hang on to it. God has forgiven us, and we are unable to forgive ourselves. I mean, if you have something that you really cannot be rid of, can I suggest maybe to seek professional counseling? And perhaps from somebody who knows that you have a Christian faith, a professional who will give you guidance based on that Christian perspective. I mean, imagine if we decided to focus on what was in front of us and not what was behind us. Those regrets that chain us to our past. And adopt the first rule in Italian racing. Not look back, but look forward. As Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Jacob did. Because God made a promise to them. And they rested in that promise. And we too can rest in that same promise if we put our faith in what God has planned for us.